folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Week in Review. This is a video in which we talk about all the videos we did the past week and tell you what we think of them. Then if you want to see more, if you want to see the whole review, you're like, I missed that review, we have links in the description below. As always, let's start with Z.
Hey everybody, Zee Garcia here. So last week I reviewed 3 games. I reviewed Sunflower Valley. I rate this a 7.5 out of 10. It's a roll and write game with dry erase boards. Very bright, very colorful. A fairly good one, I would say, if you are someone who wants to get into roll and write games, but you're not really into the abstract nature of so many of them. This is a good one with a little bit of theme and simple tactics, a little bit of dice drafting. Really enjoyed it. I reviewed a solitaire game called Arkham Noir Case Number 2, the follow-up to Case Number 1. I rate this also a 7.5 out of 10. And like I said, it's a solitaire game in which you are trying to close cases. You go on investigations. Very abstract and all of that, but the illustrations are very cool and gritty and sort of spooky kind of stuff, and I really enjoyed it. It's a little more complex than the original, but it feels about the same, and I enjoyed that one, so I really enjoyed this one as well. Solid gameplay for one. And then lastly, I reviewed Herbaceous Sprouts. I rate this an 8 out of 10, and I really liked it. It is a game in which you are planting different herbs and some flowers on a common board, trying to take the best spots before other people take them from you. And so in this one, you're going to have dice as well. You're going to do some drafting of dice and cards as well. But you are competing very much on a common board as opposed to in Sunflower Valley, you've got your own board. This one, the artwork is gorgeous, and I just like the theme. It's a very relaxing, attractive, charming vibe that this game puts out. So it's one I very much recommend. And that's it for me. I will see you on the next one.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Week in Review. This week I did 2 reviews for you. The first one was for a game called Ninja Squad by Backspindle Games, and this is basically where each player is part of a squad of ninjas that are going in to accomplish a certain mission at a governor's palace. And then there's a second mode of the game where you're trying to race out. And then there's also a Speedy Ninjas mode of the game as well. There's 3 modes that come in the game. One is cooperative, the original one, where you're trying to get to the palace. It was too much in one box. Let's put it that way. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the mechanisms involved. Gave it a 6 out of 10. Go check out the review for all the details there. Also did one for a game called Tales of Glory. Now this one is the kind of game that I wish publishers put out more often because there's so much attention to detail. The box insert was amazing. The artwork was very well done. Same artist as Small World, Miguel Coimbra, I believe his name is. So there's just so much good there. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed that game, so check out that review for more details there as well. And that's it from me. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.
Okay, for me, once again, I gave another number, a 1 out of 10 to Pug You, which does have kind of cute artwork, but is vile in every other way. Cogs and Commissars, this is a Take That game from Atlas Games. I gave it a 4 because at its core, there's deck building and things like that, but at its core, it's just Take That. There's really nothing else there, and the victory conditions I found to be boring. If you like communist robots, though, you're good. I gave a 5 to News at 11 because while it's an interesting maybe activity for someone to play, it's not really a game. There's also permanent marker in there for no reason. And Stephenson's Rocket. This is a train game that I just don't like. It has some odd thematic bidding in it, anti-thematic bidding in it, but it just overall, the whole game feels sloggy to me and wasn't one I enjoyed. Soundiculous, I gave a 6 to. This is a game that you just basically make a sound and people have to guess what it is. That's the whole game. It's okay. Kami-sama, very similar. It was okay. I found that it kind of drags near the end. It's real pretty, though, and has an interesting rotating board. So there's some interesting stuff, but it ties together to me in a package that, like I said, again, it starts out pretty good and gets a little slower as the game continues. God's Forge, this one is a nice light game of dice manipulation, Yahtzee style, but the theme and the dice rolling, they don't seem to match very well. So, Flip Side. This is a small little game with cards that have 2 sides to them. Thus, Flip Side. There's a memory match game in there, but there's one in there where you're trying to match the numbers in the middle. It's a little thinky game. I was pretty impressed with it. That's why I gave it a 7. A 7.5 I gave to Villagers. Villagers is a card tableau building style game with some pretty neat options in it, some cool artwork. The whole package, it feels like something different than most card games that are out there. I gave an 8 to The Brigade. This is a firefighting game in a fantasy world where there's fire raining down from the heavens and you need to put out the fire. You're walking around doing your best to put out more fire than everybody else. Some good solid mechanisms. I also took a look at a Feast for Odin expansion. I've been waiting for this one for a while. It's good. I gave this one an 8, just like I gave The Brigade, because this one it adds more stuff. Feast for Odin already has a ton of stuff. I don't think this expansion is necessary, but I did enjoy it a lot. And then finally, Dice Throne. Dice Throne Season 2, amazing production. I'd give it a 10 for production. But a great, fast, two-player Yahtzee-style game. Like if you want to play King of Tokyo, but you only have 2 people, this is good. And the 8 characters that come in this Season 2 really work well together. And they all feel very different. Just fantastic. Also this past week, Roy and I played Madara for quite a while in our live Tuesday testing. We did our top 10 themeless games, Board Game Breakfast Live. We did a crowd surfing episode, so you can see all that stuff. Also, I did an informational video on Dice Tower West. So if you want to see what's happening there, we'll be seeing you guys there in a few weeks. So that's what's happening, or that's what has happened this past week. Thanks so much for watching this Week in Review. I'm Tom Vasel, and this is the Dice Tower.